Hey there, today I'm going to be talking about the 4 ways to approach a game of Marvel Crisis Protocol, why it is important to have a grasp of the different levels, and which is the best or most important, which, spoiler alert, the answer to that is whichever you enjoy the most. My name is Nate, and welcome to the Gamers Guild. This topic, to me at least, is a fun one because I enjoy looking at the game through multiple lenses or perspectives, because in addition to store and convention tournaments I enjoy playing at, our local scene also has several casual and narrative players, and so I try to always have 2 rosters packed for the LGS game night so that I can have an appropriate level of game plan ready. The topic is an important one because if I do and I have rolled up on a player wanting a different experience, the game isn't really fun for either of us. Finally, this topic can also be a sensitive one because a lack of communication before a game can, and again has for me personally, resulted in the game dying off locally for us after multiple poor experiences, and leads to some unfair stereotypes of the different approaches people bring to a game. So I'm going to dive into my examples of the 4 approaches to MCP, and really this applies to almost any and all miniature games. Then I'm going to unpack why each one is equally important for the health and growth of the community, and I'm going to start with narrative play. These are games that are genuinely most concerned with the story that is being told through the dice. This doesn't necessarily mean that you are playing all-in affiliation characters or anything like that, but the team-ups you are playing tend to make more sense for the story being told. So Loki teaming up with Thor and the Avengers for his own purposes can work really well. Corvus Glaive suddenly wanting to help out the Avengers is a bit more of a stretch. But if you can make a narrative behind it with your opponent, you do you. One of the other defining traits of this approach are choices on the board aren't always about scoring points or achieving victory. Hulk carrying 2 hammer objectives when he has 3 health left and is really pissed off isn't going to run to the corner of the board to make sure you score those points. Hulk is probably more likely to gamma leap into the fray and smash whoever attacked him last, pissing him off. Now, sure, if that same character was Black Cat who just stole a hammer, it makes sense for her to book it and let the rest of those idiots punch each other while she sells the hammer on the black market a week later or something. Really, the victory condition of this approach to the game is a cool story being told on the table and coming away with a memory that you can tell and talk about a year from now down the road of remember when. For me, this happened when Punisher was trying to take down Magneto, his clip ran dry, only for Ant-Man to throw him a Hot Wheels-sized taco truck that Frank then proceeded to throw at Magneto to save the day with some Pym particles. Because that did happen over a year ago, and I still remember it. Sliding over on the approach to the game is casual. And while each person has their own idea of what this looks like, to me the roster construction is pretty similar to narrative, where you just bring the characters and models that are going to be fun to play with. For me, this means 90% of the time that Agent Venom or Loki probably ends up at least in the roster, if not on the table, because I enjoy the character or play style and I want to just play with them. I think the bigger distinction between narrative and casual play is that you play to win the game. You may not have a super planned out game plan or perfect strategy or anything like that, but you are actively trying to win the game with the characters and tactic cards you have available to you. So maybe Hulk does run away with those hammers if you only need 2 more points to win the game. The main goal of the approach to a game is to have fun with the characters you enjoy trying to one-up your opponent. The next slice of the pie that takes it up a step is the synergistic approach. And there might be a better name for this one. If one comes to mind for you, let me know down in the comments, because I feel like there is one, I'm just not sure what it is. Anyways, this approach to me starts in the roster construction, where you may pick a playstyle or affiliation that you enjoy, but from there you start looking for characters with a good synergy with the other characters you have or the leadership the affiliation provides. For me, this is when Loki and Venom will join the Avengers for a discount on their powers, or maybe when X-23 and Punisher team up with Shadowlands Daredevil for access to an extra reroll. You also might begin to plan out some round 1 game plans and strategies that use tactic cards to swing the game your way early. That way your playstyle can really just begin to flourish. Avengers, for example, can let Loki pretty safely get a midline extract objective and then move to safety if attacked thanks to Trickster with a discount. Punisher in Shadowlands Daredevil can move up, attack the midline objective, and have 3 power, which he can then use his Spec Ops training to get on a middle objective himself and have power left over to Advanced R&D to Winter Soldier or X-23 so that they become more efficient murder machines round 1 as well. The goal of this approach to the game is to display your synergies and strategies to boost the efficiency of your team to victory. Then finally, we have competitive play, which is really close to the synergistic approach to the game, but cuts out a lot of potential rosters by trying to find the absolute best characters, teams, and strategies to beat everyone else. Now, all of these approaches probably have a little overlap with each other, and also I have been careful to never say a casual player or a synergistic player. I've been using the word approach a lot because majority of the time, no one is just one of these things. I'm typically a person who enjoys the synergistic style approach to the game, but I can dip into a casual game or a more competitive mindset at an event. Now, hear me out on why I don't think any of these are more or less important than another. I think the majority of people playing this game play with the narrative and casual approach. So that's the biggest audience, whether that be at a kitchen table or at a game store or a club with friends, but that is where I suspect the largest audience is, and not by a little bit. However, I also think that the people who play at the synergistic and competitive levels are the ones that are presenting the game to new players in a large way when they go to participate at larger conventions and game stores to help get more eyes on the game. Not to mention, it is the drive of the more competitive players that probably keeps this game really well balanced because it provides a very visible space both for AMG as the designers, but also the community as a whole to see where the problems are arising in the game. All this to say really 2 things. Play the game how you find it enjoyable, there are no wrong answers there. And then respect how others choose to play the game. We all add to this community in different ways, and there's no reason to disrespect how other people enjoy their game time. Now, with that, have a conversation before a game at the LGS with a new player about what they will enjoy, because it's not fun to be steamrolled, and it isn't fun to be the steamroller. If need be, try and find a middle ground, but that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you have a better word for the yellow category, let me know down in the comments. If you do, it will enter you into the monthly giveaway to get an MCP expansion of your choice from Tritex. All you need to do to enter is be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment on a video the same month that that video was released. And the more videos you comment on, the more chances you have at winning. If you're shopping from your mini stuff online, consider using one of the guild sponsors to support an LGS that hosts a game night and a place to play for their local players. If you're in the UK, shop at Tritex. Use the code TritexGGCP5 at checkout for an extra 5% off. And you can use that on a pre-order item like Cosmic Ghost Rider. It'll actually save you 25% off of MRSP. I'll also mention that Tritex is taking pre-orders for Shatterpoint as well if that is something you're interested in, and the discount code works for it as well. If you're in the US, head to GameChefs.org and use the code GamersGuild to save an extra 15% off of their already discounted prices, which comes out to a really good bargain on your end. However, I will continue to say if you're shopping from your own LGS, just keep supporting them. We all understand and appreciate that. And also with that, I want to say thanks to the members of the Guildhall who are supporting the channel over on Patreon with your contributions. It's not a far stretch to say that I would have stopped doing this a long time ago if it was not for that additional support. So thank you all for that, and thank you guys for watching, and until next time, keep on gaming.